What's up,
Hey,
pal?
bro.
Oh,
Hey, can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Okay. You are sideways.
Hold up.
You got to rotate. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hold on.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Um, my name is Stephanie Jack, and this is the Iconoclast series. We are transitioning into 2021. This is the very first episode of the year, and the guest of honor tonight, I'm going to take my glasses off because I got the glare. The guest of honor tonight is my brother, Bailey Jack, and
Hmm.
I invited him to be on the series because, and of course, this is the first male that we've had, and I believe that he is an individual who fits the category of iconoclast, which means that we are individuals that are breaking the norms of what we consider to be the typical things that we revere and consider to be important or of value in our society in America. Um, so, yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, Bailey, go ahead.
Yep. So I'm Bailey Jack. Um, I'm Stephanie's little brother, and I mean, I I'm just very honored to be here, and very thankful to be like in this environment that my sister has created, and yeah, like it's definitely something that I didn't really think that I'd be able to or I just never thought that I'd be sitting here doing something like this. But this is very, very like it's very like I don't even know. Like it's just epic. But with that being said, I mean, um I do resonate with like everything that Stephanie has done and like been able to create. And yeah, like the it's just a complete honor. But with that out of the way, I mean, who I am as a person, I mean, I mean, as of right now, I'm just a person um, looking for different ways to live in in this, in this life here that is America or whatever. Like, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, it's a whole deep thing to get into, but, um, and there's a whole bunch of aspects and a whole bunch of things to talk on. But as far as it goes, it's like my understanding of it is, um, or the way that I see it is just from a clear, pure mind, and then like with all the time that's transpired, which would be 19 years of living, and me gaining a conscious mind, I've seen how it is, and I'm actually, and I'm within a body that is, I mean, it's a body of wrapped in pigmented skin. So I mean, like in um, you know, like this pigmented skin is like it's a threat. For some people, they're like I don't even know. Like people, it's just it's stereotyped. It's a whole. It's a problem for some people. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I just have to like I'm figuring out how to live with it. I mean, like live with like this problem here, like all the problems that have been presented through me just living and me seeing how it is and how to make everything work. Or yeah, like that's really it. But I'm an understanding person. I am a I'm a person that wants complete change. Like I just want prosperity and just growth in the most positive ways. I don't want to backtrack. I don't want to look in the past, but in order for things to change, we have to know our past and all that. And like we need to know the direction, all that. So
Yeah, I agree. Um, some other words that you use to describe yourself would be genuine, imperfect, growing, and passionate. Do you feel like that's the same, or has that changed as of today?
it's the same. It's like in every way that I want to pursue life, I have to like I feel like those words um are definitely um like direct representations and definitions of who I am. And like it's best to be this kind of way, like to be genuine and also understanding and open and just thoughtful of others and um always allowing different perspectives of lives and ways of living. So then I can make like a like if I can gain all of that kind of knowledge or like all these perspectives, I can go according to all of those and then present something new, like a
Mhm.
different something that works for everyone.
All right. So the topic of this live is reflections of 2020. So we are in a lot of ways reflecting back on the things that you've experienced, some things that I've experienced, and what has brought us into the present moment, as well as the things that we are looking forward to going into the future. I understand that time is measured, or we measure it as year by year, and we consider it a new start, being, that we're in January, so it's everything is done and we're moving on into this new year. But time is very linear. It's honestly immeasurable, and it's a way that we try to cope with things and fit it into our everyday reality. So I don't want to 100% let go of things that we experienced, as you said, and just holding space for that as we move forward into the future moments. Um, so, what has 2020 been like for you?
I mean, 2020, that year was like a uh 2020 was like of course it was a very impactful year, but it was like one of the best years of living for me. Like it was like a not even just a wake up call, but it was like okay, like so much of it, like so much was in there just shouting like like this is the big deal, like this is the um like it was the start, like it started a whole bunch of um like it just started adulting for me, like time for me to do a whole bunch of realization thinking and all this stuff, and then it actually eventually forced me to think or like put me or like it confined me in an actual room for like so many months to
Mm.
think or have nothing else to do but think. So it was like I'm very thankful for 2020. Like uh not only will we always remember that year, it's like it's a year to just be, I mean, like in a way to be thankful for. Like we're not gonna get many like that. So it's like um yeah, like we can look at it as a bad thing all the time or anyway, or look at it for all the bad. I mean, like all the things that um were negative or bad that happened within that year. But it's also best for us to look at it as like one of the like most learning lessons, like one of the biggest learning lessons that you'll ever have in your life. Or I don't know. I mean, one of them. But yeah, 2020 was like it was a it was just a wake up call for me, like a huge lesson and everything. It never stopped. It never stopped doing what it was supposed to do too. Like I thought it would. Because I know a lot of people took big hits that year
Mm.
as far as losses and stuff, and I didn't think like um anything would really affect me negatively or like put me in a negative zone or whatever. Like really just take time and be like um upset about the year or like just the time or just about life, I mean. But yeah, I mean, it ended up getting me like as it was coming to a close in December, like it really hit, and then I was like, dang, okay, now I understand. Like, I mean, yeah, like it just put me in a space, in a dark place. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
agree.
was.
Pillow Orchards is saying 2020 was crazy, and she also says
Mhm.
that it brought a lot of folks together. I agree with that. I think it was being in tandem of seeing a lot of sad things, a lot of very, dark stuff happening, and simultaneously some beautiful things occurring in that because life is very dual. And so I can definitely resonate with that. I was experiencing two things at once. Um,
Mhm.
what are um, some specific situations that occurred throughout 2020 that were most impactful for you? Some things that may be triumphs, some things that may be some hardships that you faced.
Um. I mean, some of the triumphs that I had. I mean, um, one of the biggest ones was me finally getting the car that I had been working like for for about like I mean at least a whole year for like the year prior I was just working day in and day out, and I ended up finally being able to like buy the car all the way
Mm,
off, and it was completely mine or whatever. Like yeah, like it was just me putting in a whole bunch of hard work, and then I finally got what I was working for. And I mean that just opened a whole bunch of doors, like as far as like what I was capable of, like it like me being able to work as hard as I did, and then it paid off like that. Like I realized, yeah, like whatever really, like if you're pursuing something, you have to be able to put in all that work, and then know that I mean, like no matter how long it takes, like it took a whole year. I was thinking that probably wouldn't go the way that I wanted or something like that, but literally you just have to do that time. Like go in as long as you like, and like I always think about, like it's really about like how bad you really want something. So
mm,
it showed me like through that kind of triumph right there, that whatever you want in life, you have to really work for it, or like, um, and not like actual labor, but like go through, like you have to, like if there's obstacles, you have to get past them, or you have to go through whatever you have to go through to get it. And it really just motivated me to like see things that way, or like understand that no matter what is in your way or however much time you have to put into something, um, you have to really want it and know that in your heart or in your mind, um, there's really nothing to stop you. Like, but that was one triumph, and then another triumph was like, it was really at the end. I mean, I have these two main ones that I'm thinking of right now, but another triumphant moment was this past Christmas. It was like one of the best Christmases ever. Like, yeah, it just reminded me of childhood, and yeah, like it's crazy. Like I was just thinking, I was um like as a kid, I would um I would always think of Christmas as like receiving or whatever, and like you know, just like, of course, I would always love to be around family and stuff like that. But what is it like? I really got to experience like how it was as an older person, and also like really wanting to just be around family. Um, like I really had that warm feeling once again. Like finally, like I mean, not that Christmas isn't always warm or whatever it's made out to be every year, but um, like it really hit home like how it always did whenever I was a younger kid. Like we would have the Christmases with our cousins, and we would have the Christmases where everybody was around and like everyone came to the house and we were just celebrating and stuff like that. Like although we're smaller now, it's like I was really able to see what it's like to want to give and just be around, and just be loving and like with everyone that I love and stuff like that. Like it was a great moment of 2020. And yeah,
I
like
agree.
yeah, those were the two big things. I mean, two of multiple. I'm not thinking of anything else right now, but those are the two that come into my mind right now. But what is it? The downers of 2020. Um, well, I know being confined in that place. I mean, being confined in in the house, just confined to a space. Like it took me to a dark place, like like whatever problems that I hadn't faced before, I was in the room with it now. Like I have all this time, like it's coming to me now. Like it's I have to face everything that was going on in my mind that I would like try and put back or like
Mhm.
avoid or whatever through just working or like keeping it off my mind, however I was doing it. And yeah, like I got to spend time and really think about what was going on or like just assess the problems I had. So that was like but within that time it really had me in the dark place. Like yeah, like it just that was a downing moment, but I would always come out in the light of things and stuff like that. So that was one. And um the second one I'd say, which recently happened. I mean, I got in a car crash because of like just being reckless and not really um thinking or like really listening to myself. Like I just did what I did anyway, even though I knew um like I knew better. Like I was taught better, raised better than that, and I did what I did anyway. So like I had to really face what what I did and stuff like that, and the contradictory and the disappointment, all that stuff. So that was another downing moment, but that's it.
Um, and I think too with that, well, I guess I'll go back to the ups or the things that you felt were triumphs,
Hmm.
because I do agree that working hard or like putting striving towards a goal, not even just working, because ultimately
Hmm.
whatever you do, you can move towards this thing that you're moving so hard for or striving towards and things, and it can feel like it's never going to show up. It can feel like the time will feel longer than what it is you're actually doing because you want it that bad or you're striving to get it. And I've experienced getting my first car and how going from being dependent, like being in a space where your parents or who you live with kind of shape the way that you navigate your life, and having that piece of independence and how that opens a whole door for your world. I definitely understand how that can be an amazing transformation in a lot of ways. And with Christmas and all of that, which now I'm looking forward to next year because I want to celebrate Kwanzaa. Like I want to embrace that side of things and not just what I've been taught, and just trying to explore different ways to truly feel gratitude and truly feel that even more so. But I do agree that the time that we shared together was very fun. And of course it can be tiring. Like if anybody slaves in the kitchen, or like, makes a full spread for any event or just gathering,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of out of you. And I did what I could to make it to where I was not super tired. And even with that, it was still a lot of fun, and made a lot uh you made the most out of the time. And even the fact that you had to go back to work and you tried to like stretch it to the end when you really didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to, I appreciated that. And then, just having us together and all of that. And it's been a very long time since we've, shared each other's company like that. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Um, and when you were talking about, being confined in a space, I say that, for a while it's been, it's new for a lot of people. When we initially started quarantining, and for anybody that's not where we are, we're in Texas, the main place that's full of COVID and craziness here. Um, it's it was hard for a lot of people. And I think one upside of us kind of being in the house and being, sheltered in a lot of ways, and, being in the home space majority of our lives and things like that, it kind of prepared us for these situations. But I did go through dark times before 2019 going into 2020, and that wave of things, and choosing to be home and having to be separated, or in your case, in mine, periods of time where we weren't working, and how that can affect your mindset. And I think even right now, these past couple of weeks, I haven't been doing anything because I was in a car accident. And so that has put everything to a halt so that I can focus on things that I have not been processing, facing facing emotions and things that have been suppressed that need to come out, and just addressing those things. So I agree, and I am in that space literally right now, and I also know how that feels. But then I also think, like, when you were telling me about your specific car accident, it was more than just the accident and the disappointments as well. You also experienced what it's like to have someone take what they want out of the things that you say, and they make it into their narrative. Or, because typically when you have police involved, when you have people asking questions, it could be that scenario. You could be talking to family members, you could be talking to friends, and you can experience where you're trying to tell someone a story, or not even just a story, but your experience of what has happened, and people just don't want to believe things. It's like, oh, that those things only happen in the movies type thing. So then when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell them the truth, it's like, oh no, I'm only going to take what I believe makes the most sense, and then they make up this narrative about you. And in a situation like that, and the gravity of how it can be dangerous in those situations, as far as like you as a black man, and just a black individual, period, trying to, make sense of, okay, I was just in an accident, whereas like it's like, nah, this way or the other. So that, I feel like that was another thing that was very prevalent in your experience as well. um let's see. So tell me about um respect, because you feel like the golden rule should cancel out any bullshit. And you ask the question of like, if you were in the other person's shoes, would you like the things that you experience? What aspects of respect, just resonate with you, and what made you even bring that up?
Um, I mean, respect is like just something that goes like a long way. Like if you have someone's respect, bro, like it's crazy. I mean, you really have like it's like a respect is more like a connection. Like I feel like whenever you have respect, mutual respect for someone, y'all have a connection between you each other, and like um everything else um like whatever comes in between that. I mean, like it really can't. Like nothing can really go between respect when you really have it and it's like that strong for for the other. I mean, between the two, it's like um you just know you know better. Like I don't know. Like whenever you respect someone, you just know everything makes sense or like something just you know what shouldn't be done or you just know what like yeah, like what could and would. You just know all that stuff. I mean, but this is also like if you learn what respect is, like you have to really know like I mean, and it's also like people have a different kind of way of seeing respect. And I mean, respect is just like what is it? There's I mean, I feel like there's levels to it. Um there's levels of respect to it. Like I come at everyone has my respect, but it's just really it's you who diminishes that respect or gains more. Um, like I respect like everyone just for being existent, like just a human or whatever. Like I respect all living things. It's just like okay, you either depreciate it or you appreciate over time, and yeah, like um, but respect is just it's like one of the primary things to me. But with the golden rule, like treat people the way you want to be treated. Like that's literally something that I learned in school, and I mean like that's one of the best things I feel has been taught or like I had picked up or and kept all throughout my years. But
Mm,
I mean I did present this okay because what is it? Because that kind of thinking. I mean, you want to treat people the way you'd like to be treated, but also, I mean, like, um, some people don't even know. Like some people don't even know um, that you're coming off like that, or um, like I don't even know. Like they feel like it's possible that those people aren't on that same kind of thing. Like they don't want to. That's not how they want to be treated, or like they're so used to being treated some other kind of way they don't even um, think that kind of thing is real or something. Like they'll just because what I'm trying to say is I tried to actually talk to someone that wasn't in my family,
mm,
who's like literally a coworker or whatever at work, because we just found each other. I mean, like we just, I found myself in a conversation with this person, like a long, deep conversation about just real life stuff. So, um, I mean, I told him, I mentioned the golden rule, and I told him, um, I treat people the way that I'd like to be treated or whatever. And he's like, well, that's fair, but um, what if people don't want to be treated the way that you're treated or like or the way that you like to be treated or
mm,
they don't get that. And then I was like, it just had me thinking. I was like, dang, you're right. Like not all people are used to even being treated nicely. So or like anything like that. But the point was is he was telling me um he was telling me that honestly, I just want to get into that part of the conversation that I had with him later
Mm-hmm.
because it was like it got real deep. Like it's really about how because I yeah yeah. Anyways, back to the golden rule. Like
Okay.
that's just the way that I want to approach people, but I just want to be fair at all times, and respect is just really huge. Like, you have it at the like you have it right then and there for me, but it's really just you as a person. If you do something, um, like, and I see it, like it doesn't matter what I hear about you or what I've seen, or I mean what I've heard. Like I have to see it for myself, hear it for myself, and then it goes out the door or it goes up, and then um, yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as respect, I mean, as long as you know the definition or you have a similar definition to it, I mean, yeah. But I don't know any other definition between, I mean, for respect, honestly. Like, um, what is it? Respect is, because you know my definition, but I'm trying to figure out like what the actual definition of respect is without looking it up.
Um, the only thing that I would add to that is just to piggyback off what you were saying is that it
Hmm.
makes sense that even more so people can treat themselves like shit. And like I wouldn't want you to treat me how you treat
Yeah,
yourself. Or
exactly.
like
Right, and that's what he was saying.
the perspectives of just what you think someone deserves and what you
Hmm.
feel like you deserve. And yeah, I feel like you have to also, as you said, when we did the Zoom call, it's like be okay when things don't align or when things don't mesh, because even if you show me your version of respect or your version of love or whatever this is, and it's not what I feel is applicable to what I need, you know, I have to be okay with, embracing that space and being okay with that and addressing it. But don't feel like that's what you have to have from that person. They can also learn to grow and adjust as well. But it also kind of makes me think of this this saying of like you shouldn't have to compromise like when it comes to like relationships, or it
Hmm.
shouldn't be that you're having to literally let go of the parts of yourself of who you are. And I think that it's been said so many times, because when you are in whatever relationship you have, whether it's a brother or a mother or a friend or whatever the case, you should just be free to be who you are, and you should be
Exactly.
unconditional in what you do. It shouldn't be instantly like I have to stop who I am or break apart some things for this person. It should just be as I adjust. And if
Yep.
you feel things, which I feel like is a good segue, because I wanted to also talk about the conversation we had before we even got on the live today, because I think that because the next live that's coming is going to be talking about the four agreements, and so I actually want to like bring this up and like apply it to that situation. And so when we were talking, and I had 15 different things going on,
Yeah.
but I entered the conversation on a negative note. And so you were coming
Hmm.
to me wanting to talk about um, something that you wanted to bring up in the live, right? And so I'm in the middle of dealing with my stuff, and simultaneously I'm trying to listen to what you have to say. I'm giving input on that particular thing, but then I also am simultaneously thinking about how would I treat any of the other guests that have come before, and I've shared that space with them and given them that time to really process stuff that they want to bring into this space. And so I wanted that to come across as that, like, it doesn't matter what we talk about, but then it also kind of came out as, oh, you're reluctant, you're not interested, or based on your response to the topic that I want to discuss, it's not important, or it shouldn't be talked about, or it's only going to get the negative sides of things. And so the 4 agreements are basically it's a personal guide to freedom. And so my friend Mora, she's going to dive deeper into this. But one of the things that I like about it is that the first thing that you do in those agreements is you basically stay true to your word. You stay true to the things that you believe, right? And then the second thing is to not take things personal, because part of it is about, you know, you can feel that I was disrespecting you, and I can feel that you were some type of way, or whatever the case. And we deserve a right to hold space for that and to address that. Now, more than likely, we'll be addressing those emotions separately. We won't necessarily go through that together. We will have open space to talk about it, because that's how our relationship is. But I feel like we should take the person out of it, because I know that I'm not these things, or I know that my intentions are to be as open as I can, and to allow you the space to speak freely on what you believe in and how you perceive the world, because that's the whole point in the series. But then it's also about, always doing your best. And there's one other thing, because that was the last one. Hold on one second. Don't make assumptions. So don't think about like what this person possibly meant and what they tried to do to harm me, or just creating stories and creating narratives based off of what we're feeling. That means that we're not processing the thing, and then jumping into always do your best, because at the end of the day, if you're trying your best and you're doing what you feel to be the best that you can do, I definitely feel like that's all that matters. And before we dive into that, because I do want to talk about the movie Soul, because that's what you want to talk about, and I think we should have space for that. I want to also talk about how, what I said before as well, where I had 2 dreams, right? So I had one with my very first guest on the Rose Golden Hour, Miss Maria Acosta, and I had a dream about her being nervous about doing the live in short. So she ended up calling me like maybe an hour. We talk about this in the live. She called me right before we did the live, and she was feeling very flustered, like, oh my God. She did not feel confident in herself when she is a birth worker. She has all of this experience just in living life and knowing what intuition is about, and that was her topic. And then once we talked it through, she felt good, and we did the live, right? I had a dream about that, and she came to me. I had no other dreams like that until this particular day. I ended up waking up and you were in my dream, and it was just about the fact that there was some hesitation, there was some disconnect there regarding the live. And so we ended up having that conversation, and I believe it's for us to address that here in the space. And so I just wanted to bring that up before we transition over. And then I see some comments. Sav JT 1908. Yes, intent versus impact. Sometimes our intentions and communication are much different than the person receives what we say. iTaddy says assumptions. Can you say that a bit louder for the people in the back? Yes. I also, before, just briefly, because I'm going to talk about it more in the next live. I did 2 lives at the end of the year. And so coming into this one, because I did not want to be on a negative space with you before we hopped on here, I was dealing with some negative feelings, and just not even just negative feelings, but just trying to process the live that I did with my friend Tiana, because I ultimately brought up things about my life, and that ultimately connected to our father, our stepmother, and there were things said that ultimately connected to that. So then I had to think about, not even just think about it, because I'm thinking about it all the time.
Hold on. What about Miss Tanya?
So basically, the live that I did with Tiana, which was
Mm-hmm.
about domestic partnership and just domestic partnership and parenting, right? So we were holding space for that, and we were talking about marriage, we were talking about divorce, talking about like how we lived in different households, and so details came up in that, which triggered just a memory that I had, which talked about specifically dad or whatever. And so um and it wasn't that I said anything too much in detail, just very graphic, but it was like she got on the live right at the same time to hear that. And so I also feel like, ultimately every single live that I've done, I've talked about my family, talked about my experiences. If you watch any of them in full, you will learn a whole lot. But I think that it's just more about me feeling confident in what I'm doing because I know that what this space is, which I really appreciated Miss Tanya talking about the fact that this is my safe space to process what I need to. This is technically therapy for me. This is one of the ways that it's easier for me to express things. And so I feel like that's one thing that I've been reflecting on because one thing I wanted to avoid was for this to seem fake or for this to seem like this is a space for you to just come and get drama. Because I feel like just like it says, we have viewers here, y'all literally will leave if you feel like this doesn't resonate with you, if it's boring, if it's just like whatever, you can hop off, right? So that's what I was ultimately not necessarily worried about because I feel like who needs to hear the message is going to listen, get the message that's intended, and then you take that with you. And I don't want it to feel like, oh, I have to worry about you have to worry about me or anything like that because this is my space. And so ultimately, that made me feel some type of way because I know that it's going to ultimately connect to me having conversations with family members and whoever watches because it could be mom, it could be granny, it could be literally anybody. Y'all can hop on and then feel like, oh, I want to talk to Stephanie about this because she mentioned this thing. It doesn't have to be negative or positive, but it just kind of made me ponder, am I truly being being the person that I'm trying, like, am I doing the things because I really want to do it, which I know that that's true. But then is the intention, am I trying to put a narrative on other people, because I want them to hold space for me and to, to understand the positives of what I'm doing. But if they don't feel that way, then that's their right. And so
Mm-hmm.
ultimately being okay when things don't align and when things just don't come across the same way. We don't have to always walk away feeling, um, it doesn't have to be that we're on good terms, but we don't have to feel like, oh my God, it's just so negative. We can walk away knowing that we have our differences and we have our disagreements, and it can just be that. It doesn't have to be anything deeper. Um, so yeah, that ultimately, in short, is what is making me want to say to you is that my intention was never to make you feel that you should not speak on anything or that, what you feel is important to address in this space, you are, held high here. And I don't want you to feel like you can't talk about stuff. So,
Oh,
yeah.
so I mean, like whenever I wasn't even like I already knew when we got on the phone call that you were busy, and like I still wanted to, like I heard that you were busy or whatever, and you had to literally go and do something like while we were on the call, so I knew you were definitely busy. So um I knew you were like, and I could hear the tone of your voice. I was like, all right, so she's like in it with something else. So I'm like, all right, let me just. I even said like, let me hit you back later. Like try again later. But you really wanted to. I mean, just stay on the phone. So we did, and I mean, what you said. Like I use the words that I use, not seriously,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like I understood the situation. Like I was just gonna try, like I wasn't going to really be like I wasn't going to go in real depth with like the what I was trying to get across or like really get into it because I wanted to save it for later. Um, and also like I was telling you you were being reluctant because you were like, of course you weren't really. I didn't feel like you were hearing me all the way, or like you were
Mm-hmm.
really. You didn't have the whole groundedness that I needed you to have at that moment because you were, um, you were busy. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, of course, like your feelings about the movie, like I had already heard about him, or like I had already, like I felt the same way that you felt before, I had watched it, and then I mean, I still haven't even read the article, but you have, but I've watched the movie, but you haven't. So, but
Yeah.
through through you doing the article, you feel like you know everything, or like you got hit the same through just reading. But if you go and watch the movie, it might make you feel some other kind of way about it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that was what I was trying to express to you, but in a way, but it was like okay, I'm gonna just say whatever like real quick, like I'm gonna just say like just get it all out of the way, like tell you exactly what I meant by this, like as vague but as fast as possible so I can get out of your hair or whatever, and like let it just be said. But yeah, like the movie for me, I mean that movie like in ways like I can tell that it was like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, but it was something entirely different. Like
The
it
movie is Soul, by the way, the
oh
Disney slash Pixar
yeah
film
we
starring
yeah
Jamie Foxx. Yeah, and
yeah it's
others.
the new movie that just came out
Yeah.
last year. But yeah, that movie, I mean, um it tapped into a whole bunch of ways of thinking and perspectives that I had been pondering on and just uh like it was the visual representation of the things that I was thinking but never could like represent for myself, like get it out myself. But when I watched it, it was like it just hit, like it just hit it right on the nose what I was trying to get out of my head. There it was right there on the TV. So, um, like, of course, because whoever made the movie doesn't know exactly the whole perspective of this particular you know um social um like I don't even what I'm saying is it was made like even if because your argument or whatever was made off of you know or you'll tell us your argument but
Well, how about you start with just saying what were the things that you took from the movie?
okay
Not that I mean,
yeah
if
I
you don't
mean
want to give like a spoiler, but what were the things that came up for you that you feel like resonated with your life and so on?
well the thing is like really having a passion with for life like the the movie was um like it was really about having a directive for your life like you go into life having a feeling like it literally started from like um you know uh like your actual soul and then you have to acquire all the things of what it is that life is going to be like on earth before you go, but then you also have to find your purpose or your meaning for life. So you're like it was like it was made out to be like it was literally what I thought it was at first. Like I mean, before I watched the movie, I felt like life is literally already a set path. Like you already have this path.
Mm.
You just don't know it yet because your mind, like you have to acquire everything. But um your whole soul it like it's seen it before. Like it's already it's just going through like it's crazy. Like I can't even explain it correctly. Like um you go into it and you just acquire everything that is going to be you, whatever makes you up. whatever your makeup is, you're going down into this body that's already prepared for you,
Mm.
and you have the parents that you have, and then you acquire your personality. I mean, you already have your personality, and you know, you just go through life, and then you finally find the your purpose, or you find your one thing that you really want to do for the rest of your life, and that's it. And then you just find ways to make it work with others in the life. Yeah, like that kind of simplicity and that that representation, that visual representation of what I had always been thinking, just really, that was what that movie offered. Like it just showed
Mm.
me that some of my thinking isn't just from me. Like, I mean, like other people think the same way. I mean, for sure. But it's like, wow, like I didn't even have to really um come up with this. Like I didn't even have to be the one to make this kind of movie. Someone else made it, and I resonate with this movie.
I
So
see.
I mean, in that kind of way. But
Mm.
yeah, like also there's something called the zone or whatever, and like everyone has their zone. Like, bro, I was like, dude, that is like I was like, yeah, that is exactly right. Like whenever you're in that moment of like just going, like you're, I want to say, in that frequency, you have that you're in the flow of things, and you're like so I don't know what your rhythm is anymore. I mean not rhythm, but your complete passion. Because I used to believe that it was art, but I believe that this right here, what you're doing now, is completely like literally. Because I mean everything. And it's the same way with me. Like you've incorporated everything into one thing. Like you've unified all the little components of what makes you you into one thing. And I
Mm.
mean, I think that way because that's literally the way that I like things to be done. Like if things are going to be unified, everything needs to be one thing. But like I used to believe that art was your main thing, but I feel like just watching you, it's become like this bigger thing, which is what we're on here. Like we're just in this moment right now. Like we're talking about um like everything that you're doing right now. I feel like you as a human, your humanitarian aspect of life and stuff. That's you right there. Like um yeah, I mean, but anyways, uh back to the zone from the movie. They represented the zone as like um when you're really focused into what it is that you love doing, and when they were like when you're focused in, it's like nothing else matters because you're so in love with what you do or what you're doing, that is your reason for living. Like you're living for that moment, like you're living for that specific feel, and like you're in limbo between life and death right there. Like that's like you really have to watch that movie. Like it's crazy. I was like, man, um like that's really how it feels. Like when I'm going like I'm putting up numbers on the dash, like I'm like, dang, I mean this isn't what I like, this isn't the passion, but this is like this is what I love doing. Like I love the speed of things. I love how the exhilaration of it all, like it just flows through me. Like this is awesome. Like in that moment, no one can tell me to stop. No one can tell me to do anything. I'm just going.
Mm.
And I mean, like everything else after, it doesn't matter because right now I'm going, and like this is just me. But yeah, like um it was just very represented. It was well represented, and that's all I can say about that movie. Like I love the fact that the things that I had been thinking were very well represented in that movie, and that's all it was. Like the message. I mean, it probably did get lost because I really don't. I mean, I'm thinking about it like, what was the message from it, and if it really like stuck out, or like if it was really that bold of a message, I would really remember it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like I just messed with the movie because it really hit home. But um, yeah, that's really it about that movie. Definitely watch it if you have like a passion for life. That's the real reason why I was like, okay,
Mm.
Steph is a passion person. She needs to get on this. Like, you need to see how they represented passion. Like, yeah, like it was cool. Like I love that. Like I love it, man. It was yeah, and there's like it really um started making me think about how things are done and how
Mm.
we think. But yeah, that's really it. I'm done talking about the movie now.
Okay, great. um, I think that those are great takeaways from the movie, and I think that I would say, to be fair, that um, you know, I should. I don't know. I think I don't have an issue with grasping the things that are most important and the impact in the way that things make you feel. And as someone that is an artist, I have love for animated films because they encapsulate things that aren't even physically, you can't touch them, and they spark emotion, they spark thought, they spark so many different things that's also open to your interpretation as well that you can make. And so I think that um, I'm never going to knock that any of the Disney movies or any of anything anywhere has a message that is meant to, be put across, that's going to spark your mind in some way and help you move forward. And if that's something that you want to uphold as a part of your beliefs, you carry that with you. And as you did, you passed it along to someone else that you feel um, should experience it.
Hmm.
Don't have an issue
Yeah.
with that. I think I'm also grappling with um, things being 100%, which I know won't always be 100% um, fluid. It's going to be probably outside of my lifetime before I see something that is also going to be where I know that it wasn't just any negativity around what's said, or any. I think I was wrapped up in, because I feel like the article, because as you said, I didn't watch the movie, and of course I know why you should watch something and see it so you can know and experience it for yourself. I was just talking about the fact that the article itself has a synopsis in it. It talks about frame by frame what happens, not that I physically saw it, um, to get the other parts of it that I missed. And then, as well as that, it was the writer's perspective into why some things did not follow through, because there
Hold
was
on.
some.
Go ahead and accept that request right there. Did you get it? Because I
No,
gotta. This iPad is dying.
I probably have to take you off and then add you
Okay.
again. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So basically, it was the fact that it was some aspects like Tina Fey being inside of Jamie Foxx's character's body, white woman voicing things and whatever the case happened, which of course I'll have to watch the movie and you know, so on and so forth. But then it also sparked a thought in me, because there are other movies that we have watched, that I know specifically I've watched, that have um made me feel the exact same way that you do. And um I also don't want to. like in situations like Lovecraft Country, for example, I know that HBO is also corrupt and like all these other capitalist, these places that have the money and they create the platform. But it's also beautiful to see that majority of the individuals that put their thought into it 100%, I felt like came across more in that. Whereas like I would have to, like we said before, I would have to watch Soul.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is, like in any other movie that Disney has made, where there are some setbacks in the midst of the beautiful message, or there is some old racism or some things that need to be changed, um, not even just racism, it could be things that are being presented to children as what they need to believe their life is going to be like. Those things come across, and of course, as time changes and as they allow new writers in, things will adapt, right? So um just going off of that logic, I understand that that's their MO. They're going to have some downsides to the movie, and there's going to be some amazing and beautiful aspects to the movies as well. And so I don't want to like not knock any other place that creates art and creates things for us to view, and then it's also some negatives to it, or some underlying things that we don't see in the world. And I think I'm just always on that mind frame because I've gotten to a point where um, movies were a really huge passion of mine, learning them, understanding things and the flow of movies and books and things. And then just seeing the BS in acting and just the BS and just how things are made. And you see
Mm-hmm.
when certain beautiful gems come up that want to do things differently, you hold on to those things. And sometimes it's hard for me to adjust to things and accept stuff. And I know that I kind of had a little bit more bias on that because I already understood Jamie Foxx as an individual and just understanding just people as individuals, that there are aspects to them. So I understood why things played out the way that they did on the negative side. So I'm okay with that. I'm not just like, nobody ever sees Soul, because Earth Mama Medicine completely loved the movie, and like she added that in her caption in a post, and I didn't like shit on her for saying anything, or whoever
Mm-hmm.
else. So yeah, I feel like we're
Yeah, like
dabbling a little bit too long on it, but yeah.
what? Yeah, exactly. But um, I will read the analysis of the synopsis as long as you watch the movie. So
Okay.
yeah.
All
But
right.
anyways, let's get into what is it? Um, well, I'll save my my thoughts about or that later. Um,
I feel like
what is it?
what
Mm,
we have left to talk about is getting in tune with your inner child, how to
yes.
build a strong mind, finding things to stand by and live for, negativity, subconscious manifestation, and how Kid Cudi has impacted you. So that's a lot, and it's 7:36. So I don't know if you have any other obligations.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
It's just about yeah.
Um. So let's see. So how to build a strong mind, finding things to stand by and live for. So you said the fact that like there's confusion of self-love, boundaries, disloyalty, and seeing either our parents or just other individuals um either have no passions of their own outside of maybe you're talking about like working a 9 to 5 and like that whole dynamic, um and everything that comes to you will be seen as a challenge you can overcome, and so nothing you can't handle is thrown your way. So what do you say to building a strong mind and how to find ways to use that to motivate you to seek your passions and seek things? Because you did talk about in the movie that it's just one thing, but I also feel like passions are multidimensional and you can have more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I feel like this conversation is about how do you deal with feeling that stress or that pressure to pursue the norm when you know that that's not where your heart is.
Hold on, repeat that one more time. Hold on.
I'm sorry. Okay. So so I think what you were talking about, because I took notes on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how we have seen people in our lives, they will work until they're old and they're working 40 hours plus. And, you know, there is possibility that there's no pension. There's no generational wealth built there.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so many different things, but you're striving to look good for this job, or you're trying to you know, you bring so much to this company, but then what happened to all of the other passions that you had along the way? And so just the general question would be, how do you transition from doing what is the norm in our society to actually pursuing your passion? And a lot of times I have met people, and someone just jumped in, Rayoni Power, who is somebody that I know has let go of that and pursued her passion. So that way, and she's also using it to make money as well. And so I'm just wanting to know what your perspective is on creating a strong mindset to pursue the things that you truly love.
Um, it's really just like if it really um so if it's the passion, I mean, no matter what, like if it's that kind of strong passion, it never leaves your brain. Like it's always on your mind, so you have to already know um how and what you have to do to pursue it, and also like gain um more closeness, and like it's always incorporated within life. Like the way that I do art, or the way that I
Mm-hmm.
see art, or how it is for me in life. I mean, the way I see life is literally through just art. I mean, like art is everything. Like everything is art. So it's something that's with me every single day when I wake up, when I like everything. Like um but as far as like doing specific things for art, um or like pursuing a career for art, and like trying to live in America with art or whatever, um what is it like? I know I have to make sacrifices here and there because it's not exactly what I want to do. But what is it? When it comes to uh just getting by in life, and like you have to deal with like all the just living in America. Like you have to do certain things in order for you to like actually live the way that you want to live. I'm like, bruh, like if I have to really work this hard, like for me to get to this point, well, um, like it not only frustrated me, it was just like, bruh, like I'm gonna like no matter what, like because it is this important to me, it's not going to ever just die. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not just gonna just up and fade out of my head. Like this is something that I live for and will always live for. So I found ways for me to work it into every single day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, like it's nothing that's ever taxing or anything on my body or my mental. It's something that is just it like through me living, this is like it just is part of me. But um, I kind of lost the um the question, your
I
question or
actually
whatever.
I'm reading some more and I'm seeing your responses that may correlate to what we're talking about. So you
Mm-hmm.
won't just run on fumes.
Okay.
You said nothing you can't handle is thrown your way. We should go for
Right.
more, not comfortability.
Right.
Realizing reality, where you come from, and motives, and we are not forever. We are not for forever, and we are just the building blocks towards a better reality. Um, and I think that that all correlates to that.
Um, I do have something about that. We're not forever. We
Hmm.
are forever though. Like
Yeah.
I have something to spew back at past Bailey. Like I've within that time, within between the time of me saying that and now, I've learned that we are forever, and
Hmm.
that we do, like, we live through, like, yeah, like we are indeed forever, like we are infinite, like, um, and our power is infinite. Like, if you, like, you literally limit yourself whenever you feel like, um, you'll just conform or comply to the restrictions. Like, um, what is it? Uh, I'm not, so,
Yeah,
is the fan blowing on the phone?
I am. It is. Is it like bothering you?
Yeah, it's hitting right now.
Okay, I was sweating, so
Oh, okay.
because this ring light is
Hold
hot.
on, hold on. Yeah, you're good. Hold on. If you need to turn the fan back on, you can.
It's okay because I don't want
Okay.
it to mess with the audio. I'll be okay.
All right.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, so anyway, yeah, because I took a bath and lotioned up, so the
right
heat
on.
is
And
making
I
it just
just took,
straight sweat slime.
yeah.
So I'm like,
Hold
okay,
on, hold on, hold on. You got to put on some dry fit around here. I had to put some of that
no.
on.
See, I don't have no
All right.
dry fit. But what I do have on, if you don't mind me like interrupting,
Right
I
on.
won this shirt. Okay,
And
I
that shit
won a
is so clean.
giveaway. It
Yeah, I
says
want one.
decolonize birthwork,
Oh,
and
God.
the amazing person that gave it to me is China Tolliver, aka Rise Up Midwife. She makes shirts, prints, pins, mugs, everything, and it has so many different words on them. I remember before I won the shirt, I had went on her website, and I was just looking at all of these shirts. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have no money right now for this, but I want this. And then shortly after that, she got it. Like, she messaged me in my DMs and was like, "You won," and I'm like, "What did I win? Oh my god!" And then I won the shirt, and then I picked green, and I was not
Mm-hmm.
sure if this green was gonna look good, and it is a
Yeah.
beautiful green,
I like it's
and it
clean.
goes with the with all the different complexions,
Yeah.
and the shirt is really comfortable, and so I love it. Thank you so much. Just wanted to mention that, and that's why I wore it. But anyway, aside from that, what I want to say was the mindset of so many people that I've met in 2020 and going into 2021, all of my friends that are, entrepreneurs and, pursuing their passions and doing a lot of the things that are very different than the ways that they are raised or were raised. Um, it took a while to probably transition out of that because there's so much fear and questions about, how are you going to be successful? How are you going to do the things? And they just jumped in and went for it. And I love that mindset of just understanding that um, we are the building blocks towards a better reality, because if we have more individuals moving towards our passions and the things that we believe, like certain cultures do revere that, um, if we truly do what is in our passions and in our hearts to do, the next generations won't necessarily feel like I have to do this, or I have to put myself in a box, or this is the only definition of success. It's I can make my success, and I can make our reality one of peace and one of something that has never been seen before. And I think that sometimes we get overwhelmed by that because it's like, oh, we've never seen this, so how do we navigate through it? But I think that that's also the other side of it, is that you are never going to always experience the same thing. And I want to see what life is going to be like with the newer generations coming, from what we sow, what we put into them, and how they are going to adjust to life, and how they're going to accept the society that we have, and how they are going to transform it. Um, and going into that, um, I think we just kind of talked about, as far as negativity, just hypocritical preaching, lecturing when they themselves are miserable and biased. So I guess correlating back to that, if you are only seeing people that are in doubt, like, nah, I don't think that that's a good look to, go ahead and quit your job and like pursue this thing, or, to switch majors, or to, do whatever. It's so many different things you could do. You can literally decide to go and fly to a different country and try to, survive out there and then experience that life outside of the society that you're used to. It's so many different things you can do. And so when people, whereas like I said before, people do things for themselves, or the things that people say are a representation of how they feel about themselves. It more times than not has nothing to do with you. And so if you face someone, or you are coming across someone that is bringing you negativity, and sometimes it's like underlying negativity, or it's sometimes it's not always just right in your face. It can be in other ways that it's said to you. And you have to also understand that doubt and concern and questions and things are all rooted in fear. So if you want to do something and you've never seen it done before, or there are individuals that are doing it, but you've never reached out to those folks and connected with them, just take that leap of faith. Otherwise, you're going to be, still thinking about what could have been while you're sitting with everybody else that didn't want to do the thing. So I definitely believe that negativity ultimately comes from whatever is a fear in that person that's projecting it onto you, or if you are feeling that yourself and you are not processing it.
Man, I'm just thinking about the people that it is that we're talking about right now. Like, I mean, we have a whole bunch of people that are very pessimistic, and
Mm-hmm.
they've like they're hopeless, or like not even hopeless, but they have that negative aspect of life, and they'd rather play things safe, and never take risks to for a better life, or like to experience something or anything like that, like taking leaps and stuff like that. Like, we got people that'll just stay small forever, and that's literally, I mean, it's crazy. Like, you see them, you see that they're such great people, but for some reason they're just so small, and they stay small for their own reasons. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, it's just it's a downer, but it's like, okay, I know what I've got to do. 'Cause I mean, like, doing the bare minimum, like, um no matter what, you'll be able to live. I mean, I'm getting a feel for how it is to live in America, more and more now. Like, and I've come up with like this. It's kind of like a saying, but it's not really just yet. But life itself is not a game, but this life in America, this is a game. Like, literally, I mean, it can even go back to Darwin with survival of the fittest. Like, literally, I mean, if you don't have the mind for it, if you don't have the kind of thinking process, or like, I mean, not even the thinking process, but if you don't really use your brain for what it's given to, like, get by, or like to be happy or whatever. If your goal is to be happy, or you have a goal and you can't think your way into achieving it, or to achieve it, it's like, you just won't, like, or you won't make it to what you wanna to get. Like, I don't even, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm seeing it now. Like, you got smart people, um, but for some reason they're not the best, like the most known people in the world, or you don't, um, like, I can't even explain it the way that I want to. It's just like you got a whole bunch of people that you know that could go for president, but we have the people up there that really are trying to direct the country, and they only have one thing in mind, and it's like so selfish, and it's like really, really just like ignorant. Like, it's all ignorant. Like, they don't really know, um, or they're so out of touch of humanity, or like just being emotional, or like caring for others, or like the perspectives of other people, and it's like or they probably do know, but it's just they want one thing, and it's literally just based off of greed and um thriving for their own selves, like
Mm.
and also to like keep that same power over this amount of people, or like these groups of people. Like um this is ridiculous to me. But um as far as like, I really do just keep on talking. That's the one thing that, like, that's the one thing about talking is like, I'll talk and then I'll forget like what it was that I was
What you
even
was
talking
even
about.
talking about. Okay. And I'm
But
trying to give you
yeah,
space to say what it is you want to say,
hmm,
and me not shutting you,
yeah,
down.
yeah. I mean, like,
But
yeah.
I mean,
I just start thinking like, I'm like, dang, I'm really talking for this
yeah,
amount of time. Like, is it okay? Am I good?
I
But
guess the shit's not cutting off, so I'm like, okay, it's whatever. I okay. So aside from that, because of
hmm,
course today really revealed a whole bunch of crazy shit, but we already knew about the crazy that goes on in our country
yeah, it
or
was
whatever.
just yeah,
But we we ain't really just finna hold space for that right now. But we know that it's going on, and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all rooted in everything that you do. And I think that if people really put the work into understanding how oppression, implicit bias, systemic racism is in everything that you do, and how you can be aware of it and disconnect from that, and make changes to move forward, and do new shit, then you will be in a better place. That's why I think it's very crazy to me how I never stopped moving. Like, I learned about 13th, I learned about Nina Simone, I learned about Rodney King. Like, I learned about so many different individuals, and that never stopped me. So it manifested subconsciously into me doing union work. And in union work I
hmm,
learned about racism in work, because that's literally where it comes from. And there's all of this information that shows you how it is like that, and it shows you how systems are set up in our country for you to not have more than the minimum that we get paid, and all of this. And we have to literally work to to show that we deserve to live, you know what I'm saying? Because in other countries that have already established, and what's crazy is they talk about Canada, and they're literally doing the bare minimum, but their bare minimum is paying people monthly during a pandemic and ensuring that their people are good, just on that
hmm.
basis. Because I'm not in their country to know what their situation looks like, but for that to be how that is versus how we are here. And so, then boom, that translating into birth. And it's like, let's talk about and really look at the racism and things that are underlying inside of birth. And then how not only the racism, but how hard it is for individuals that have children, because we are all here because people are having children. Like, we are here, and most of us, the majority, are experiencing hard, not just in the birth space, but raising your children, establishing wealth, and transitioning that money or whatever that wealth would be to your children and things like that. The priority is not on the people. It's not on anything other than what the business of our country is. And so, segueing out of that, I want to talk about, lastly, um, Kid Cudi.
Hmm.
Let's close on Kid Cudi. So how has Kid Cudi impacted your life? What are some memorable things, some takeaways from him? A memory you'll never forget. It's so much you could talk about. What are some things that you feel about your journey with listening to Kid Cudi?
I mean, it really has to come back. I mean, go back to the start of it
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to him. Like, been probably 8, but just like yeah, I would be listening to you listen to it. Um, like, and the thing is okay, because this is one of the things that I knew I wanted to say during this live here. Like, it's really just respecting you and like me acknowledging you for who you are in my life. Because for a long time, I mean, even just as existing and being um your little brother, I had never really felt like I was your little brother. Like, I never really felt like that. Like, as I was coming up, I wasn't feeling like I really felt like I was in my own lane the whole time. But literally, I'm looking at it now like yeah, I was literally in that role. I was playing the little brother all the time, um, getting into all the things that my big sister was into. It was like, yeah, um, like everything that she would go through, or like your hand-me-downs. Like, I, of course, would never like get the physical ones. I mean, like, that's not because I'm saying like, if you have like a big brother and a little brother, you have hand-me-downs that are physical or whatever. But I was
Mm.
like, I would never. I was thinking, I was like, man, I never got hand-me-downs because I was always the big brother or whatever. But your hand-me-downs for me was your music and like what is it? It was just like, yeah, really mainly your music. It was like, damn, like I was listening to your stuff while you were listening to it, while you were doing the dishes and stuff. And not only did it just sound good, it was just like, it was just hitting. It was just like, man. But of course, it didn't really hit like that, like how it would later in years, because I wasn't even really knowing what the man was talking about. It just, these were just sounds that I was hearing that Steph was playing while she was doing the chores that mom had asked her to do while she was out for work. And she would have to, like, yeah, Steph would have to do a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm upstairs, supposed to be taking a nap, but I hear you listening to what you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. And then later on, when I'm looking for music, I hear the same music, and then that's just like what I stuck to. Like, okay,
Mm.
but then it started hitting because when the times to experience what he's talking about, those times start hitting in life when I'm becoming a teenager and I'm feeling all the sadness and depression or whatever, and all the loss, like, just, yeah, like I was just feeling all the sadness. Um like, that kind of music filled the void, and it really was there when no one else was. So um
Mm.
yeah, like, that music just really hit home in a whole bunch of places, literally because it started when I was at home. So um yeah, Kid Cudi is just like a really um big idol in my life. He's very open about what he goes through, and like everyone's able to just follow him through everything that he's gone through and stuff like that. And he's just a very open person with it. And I'm just like, I'm very thankful for you getting into it and listening to it and stuff like that, because I mean, if you weren't there to play that music, or if I had never heard you, it would have taken me a long time to find this music, and it probably would have happened like way later than it should have. Maybe when I was like, because without that music, without like a whole bunch of things happening, it could have probably taken me on to a different route. Like, it probably would have just made me a heartless and cold um little kid. Like, yeah, like, if I wouldn't have gotten that kind of music early on, I wouldn't have been prepared, or I wouldn't have had that as something to keep me off of like drugs or some or like, I don't know, like, there was a whole bunch of, like, even though this man was talking about drugs all the time, um like, I feel like I could have been doing, like, you kids can easily get tied into a whole bunch of other things um when they start growing up. and they don't really have any guidance. But I found guidance through that kind of music. And I was thinking, I was like, I was thinking deeper into it. I was like, man, Steph wasn't really like, she, like, you're not really just a big sister. You're like a mom too, for me and Noah when we were growing up. Even though, and I started like really thinking that kind of way, even as a young kid. I was like, man, mom's doing some stuff. I mean, Steph's doing some stuff like mom would do, and or like mom should be doing it, whatever. Like I remember when Noah was sick, and you took him up, um, and let him like sleep in the bed or whatever, and you were giving him medicine. You were feeling his temperature and um, like what is it? Like you were just making sure he was good, and then you guys made me a sandwich, and I was on the floor just watching this man. I was watching this man over here. You were just chilling out in your room watching what's it called? Just watching TV, whatever it was. Um, but I feel like also a lot of things that go on in your early life, in your early stages of life, like you already have that information. Um, like you've already manifested what you'll be when you're older. You just have to
Mm,
go, like everything becomes a little bit more clear as time goes on because like I feel like you were a birth worker from way back, like from even just a little kid. I mean, like you're all about kids or like you're all about like the mom kind of thing, man. Like very I don't know, like you're redefining everything and that's what I love too. Like it's not just the way that we've always seen things. Like you're giving us a whole different like breakdown of you're breaking the norms and then you're building it into a different way for everyone to see it. Like this mother thing, you've got it nailed, but then you also tear down everything that was the normal, like the typical stereotypical like things of what a mom should be, and then you redefine it. And yeah, it's just like so awesome. Like it's very cool, and that's what I like to see. And like, um, what is it like? Um, literally, um, like I don't want to say it and it just be like so like because what I mean by when I say you made like in a way you made me what I will be as a young kid. Like, um, what is it like? All of the things like if I didn't have that kind of music, if I didn't have that kind of
mm,
um because mom wasn't there all the time. She was always working. So it's like if I didn't have like that kind of mom or like and you would also like whoop us and stuff like that. Like if you wouldn't have gotten onto us or did all that you had did, it's like I would have been left out. I wouldn't have had like that kind of proper guidance still or like reinforcement. I don't even know. It's just like I know you're such a prominent figure in my life. And it's just like, damn, if you didn't do what you had done, if you weren't the person that you are, I would be very, very lost. Like I would I just don't have the confidence to even say that I would have myself like that. Like I don't know what I would have been without my sister, bro. Like huh,
dang.
like um it's crazy. Like and I remember yeah, and like what is it? I remember the thing is with me like I know that from just a young age like you can mold a kid like it's very very important for you to handle a kid. Like hold on bro, I gotta chill out. Hold on.
Take a breath, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, yeah, it's very important for you to like um handle a kid like in the early stages because like if you like it's very important. Like the way you come up, the way you're treated as a kid, like you already like you can like mess up a kid by traumatizing them or like but if you give them all the good things and like you know give them those lessons for life because we are always surrounded by wise people, man. It was just like we always had granddad, we had pawpaw, we had even our own parents and stuff, and then we also had Rob. We had a whole bunch of figures to guide us in the right way, and they were
Mm.
all living different aspects of life. So it was like we just had a whole bunch of stuff backing us to do great things and be great people. So it's like if I see us doing anything other than that, like I was thinking, man, um, because there's a lot of false idols or whatever, like there's a false prophets and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, it would it would kill me if Steph decided to not be like this growing prosperous thing, like you just fell into hard drugs or some shit, like after doing this shit right
What
here.
is it with you with some
I'm
hard
just like,
drugs, man? Ain't
I'm like,
nobody
I'm
about to
like,
be on the
oh,
deep end on
like
some
not even that shit. I'm just like, damn. I'm like, what if Steph isn't like, like for some reason I just started thinking like, what if Steph isn't like the person that I see her as? Like she, like I feel this kind of way about stuff, but then she flips it all in my head and she becomes some goddamn uh some like something totally different, like psych you
I
thought type
mean,
shit. Like,
you would have to process that. But I also want to say that I don't know what I want to say. Like we have experiences from everyone and they're not always good experiences as well. And so I don't want it to come across as that there were no difficult things that you experienced from our relationship either. And I'm yeah, I don't want it to come across that it was just like I don't know because I feel like you took what you felt was the most important and translated that into now and the actions that you choose to make as an adult. But I don't think that because for a while because now I'm in a space of like looking to the things that I want to do and not always looking to those people because yes we have idols I mean not idols elders and we have people that are wise and they pass things down to us and that's the beautiful thing about human beings is that we have that spoken word but I have also had to process the things that were hard for me or the things that I've experienced from them but I also feel like with my own children, they're experiencing the duality as well because I'm in a space where you're going to get some things right now that are going to be a lot healthier emotionally and spiritually and physically, but you're also going to get somebody that is processing through things that they've experienced and what the societal norm is of
mm-hmm.
trying to be a parent. And I think that that's the same in our relationship and in every relationship. You are trying to make sense of the world in your own perspective as well as trying to be the best that you can be. Um, and so I know for a fact that aside from, me being a big sister to you and our siblings and stuff, I feel like not everything is great. It's an imperfect thing. Not that it just has to have some bad in there, but
Mm-hmm.
you didn't we get our representations of what we choose just like you did with Soul, just like you did with the movie where you took the things that impacted you the most and the things that you resonated with and you held on to that. You do the same thing with other individuals, just like
Right.
Jacoby, and we talked about that as well where he's made father figures or he's made people like that he's looked up to throughout his life. Now even if you have experienced hard shit and negative stuff or whatever as a kid, and yes, kids can be influenced, but at the end of the day, we're here to guide them to do You know, like, of course you can mold them to literally be another version of you and to just do the same things and, you know, all of that. But if you truly are allowing them to be free, you're just there as a guide. You're there to watch. You're there to protect. But
Exactly.
at the end of the day, you're just there to watch. And I think that's what my intentions shifted into. Amja Celia, I am so sorry if I said that wrong. She says you take the negatives and learn from them and push past them. Yes, I agree. I
Exactly.
agree for sure. Because I think that, yeah, because
Bro,
it's
if
it's a
you
lot. It's a lot. It's a lot that ties into that because with you base a lot of the things off of your experiences, but I don't want to get lost in that being, you know, that's my forever story. Because true, I could just decide tomorrow that I'm just finna not be, you know, I can be whatever I want to be and I can just, you know, um,
hmm
it can be something negative to you or something that's traumatic to your perspective that you had me on this pedestal of what you perceive to be success. But then if that doesn't look a certain way to you, that can
hmm
create something for you. But then ultimately, as we said before, that is a reflection of you and what you have to process. And I think that also parts of the reason why I have pushed towards entrepreneurship or pushed towards doing things differently in different aspects is because of the fact that people have put this box on me, like, oh, you're just only gonna be this way, or oh, you're only gonna have this particular outcome. And I think that it's also a reflection of me overworking or me doing the damn most when technically what my birthright is to be free and to just live in the world, period. I should just be here and I should just live. I shouldn't have to do anything. I'm not, I don't believe that I should just do what is said in a book. I shouldn't do what's said based on your law or whatever. I should just exist because that's literally what happened. I came into this world. I didn't ask to be here.
hmm
Of course I didn't ask, but I'm here for a reason. But
Right.
I mean, I'm just here and I shouldn't have to do much more than what is feeding my soul and what's beneficial to me. And I have shifted out of that mindset because it has been hard. Just like with our grandparents or with whoever, like I have gone through individual just hard to try to 100% accept them and put that unconditional love because the things that you learn over time about the full story, the more that you grasp about the full story. But at the end of the day, if you truly are going by your word or going by what you truly believe, you will love people unconditionally in spite of, and you know,
Right. I
that whole
mean,
thing.
hmm
So in closing, I say that I appreciate what you feel I did for you in your life and how I have connected to the human being that you are and the things that you will do in the future. And I'm never gonna knock that, and I believe that's a beautiful thing. And I feel like the decision, the aware decision that I made to change my relationship with you and Noah and the relationships that I want to have with Christian and Skylar and just whoever, but specifically the decision I know that I made transitioning into being a mom with y'all is just that I want you to be free and I want you to have one less person that you feel like you have to hide in front of or to be fake around or to not truly be
hmm
who you are and be happy. Like just have this space to just be and let's just share space when we can and it just be that. Like it doesn't have to be much more than that. Um but yeah, Kid Cudi for sure. And if without my friendship with Maya in high school, I would never have come across Kid Cudi. No, for sure that. And it's similar to you that it resonated. Some things hit, some things like depression and definitely the lows that you can feel in life, because I feel like we get discredited because if you are not technically 18 and older, if you're not an adult or you're not a middle-aged individual, you can't feel complex emotions. And I think that as a kid or as a teen or whatever you want to call it, we are literally living life right alongside the parents. And we understand things right alongside you. It's just that you're choosing not to talk to us about it because we're not at the appropriate age to have the discussions that you may want to have at that time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I already am understanding the complexities of what depression can look like and what, anxiety can look like, what being misunderstood can look like. And this person is emanating that in his music. So I definitely resonated with it and never looked back. And have always felt that, and I agree with you that it's not just us, it's like a collective of people that love his music. We all kind of rock to that same thing, because regardless of what we're going through, we are all humming to this shit. Like, we're all feeling that genuine connection to him because
Mm-hmm.
of his freeness to be open about his experiences. So I love that. And yeah, just yeah, that's what I got. And it is 8:19, and my kids need to go to bed. So, do you have anything else that you would like to share? Um, yeah.
Um, what do you think the lesson of 2020 was?
Mm. Keep
Like, if there
moving
was,
forward.
hmm
I would say is
okay,
keep moving forward. You have a right to embrace the dang, because I ask all my guests that, and it's like they're telling me what I need to hear. So I guess that's what I'm doing right now. But I would say keep moving forward. The things that need to be heard and need to be normalized, you have the responsibility to uphold that. And yeah, just everybody can have their perspectives of you, but once they actually get to know you and open themselves up to connecting, it can spark true change. And I think that that's what I experienced in 2020. I have met so many individuals that are the most beautiful people I've ever come across in my entire life, and I wouldn't change a thing. And I think it's also made me a better human being, which ultimately makes me a better parent, a better partner, um, in the way that I move, because I found people that want to just be free, and they're not just looking to compete. They're not just looking to uphold a certain thing. So I think that that's what I learned, to just keep being the individual that I am and understand that there are different dimensions to me, is different sides to human beings. So I'm never going to be the same person. I'm constantly growing. So I think that's what this is about, and just
hmm
holding space for that trauma, for that emotion, for that, for any feeling, even joy or whatever. Like, just making sure that you holding space for the shit you feel, so you can process that and you can move on and do things and transform that into the next thing.
okay.
What about you?
Um, I don't know. I mean, it was a whole bunch of things, but
Mm,
uh, the lesson for 2020 for me overall, it was just like uh, what is it? Um, just I mean, like, I don't even know. Like, I'm just saying, um, life is just what you make it. Really,
it's
that's all
true.
it is. Like if you want to live the positive life, live the positive life. I mean, like, just. But some people choose to live in fear and negativity. And I mean, yeah, like whatever life you want to live, live it, and don't tell people. I mean, don't let people tell you that you can't, like, at all. Like, it's always possible. It's just up to you to find how to make it positive. I mean, possible, and go with it. Like, just keep going. Go for that. Like, don't stop. Like, it's really all about how bad you want it and what you're willing to do for it. And yeah, that's really it. Like nothing can stop you, like at all. It's it's really just up to you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I appreciate everybody that hopped in. We had a bunch of family members pop in, a few
Yeah.
friends, and anybody that watched the end, thank you. Anyone that catches the replay, I appreciate you. And yeah, if you want to support Rose Gold Birth Services, basically supporting me, which ultimately supports someone who needs a birth worker out here that may not be able to afford high price doula prices. So yeah, my Cash App is Rose Gold Birth. If you would like to see more things like this, I have other videos similar on IGTV. And yeah, this is the Iconoclast series with Bailey Jack, and we were talking about reflections of 2020. So I know this one was very long. It was about 2 hours. So yeah,
All
good
right.
night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
See you later.
No problem. All right.
All right. Peace.
See you guys.